Hello, everybody. Welcome to another week of the Beyond Parody podcast. My name is Dan Dillon. I'm your host, and I'm joined by my co-host, Robin. I'm going to look down.
Hello.
And Travis. Let me see if I can get this right on the first time. This
Bottom
way?
Right.
Well, yeah, but I got to look opposite.
No, Travis. No, Travis, you got to look the other way.
This way?
There we go. Yay!
See, on my screen it's different. So
Wow.
now it looks, for me, it looks like I'm looking.
And Mr. B. For those listening along and not watching, that was Brady Bunch recreation.
Who am I looking at right now?
You're a logo. I can't tell. We are going to talk today about what everybody wants to talk about, which is Sydney Sweeney's
let's
cleavage.
do it. Yeah.
Sydney Sweeney's cleavage. It is the talk of the town.
Sure
I feel like we've been in a Sydney Sweeney cleavage, like a
black hole
for a while now. I mean, it didn't just start with this ad, but this ad obviously has added fuel to the fire. Which, if everybody knows, I think what I'm talking about. But it's the American Eagle ad where it says Sydney Sweeney has great genes, and it shows her kind of laying, kind of popping out of her shirt in different areas and different places.
In different areas. That's
near cars. Honestly, nobody was paying attention to where she was.
No.
It was not even that. What do boomers call it? Racy. It wasn't even that racy. Provocative. I mean, when we grew up in the 80s and 90s, 70s, 80s, and 90s, I think on this show mostly, and throughout those 3 decades, this is tame
for sure
advertising.
Yeah. Oh yeah, right? You remember? Was it a Carl's Jr. ad? Or I just remember growing up in the 90s with this sort of ethosphere of sex in commercials, and it wasn't great. It wasn't like, yeah, let's bring back that era, but also it just, people didn't really think or talk about it. It was just the old sex sells, and so they put pretty women to sell hamburgers and pretty women to sell life insurance, whatever it was.
So are we making a mistake at the Babylon Bee having Travis as our person that's trying to sell things, or what?
Travis, put on that blonde wig that's on your shelf over there.
Let's see a little shimmy.
I don't see a wig. What are you looking at?
There's no wig. As a blonde woman, I guess I'm happy that we're making a comeback.
Even though
Travis has got a stuffed animal on his head. That's perfect, Travis.
It's a wig.
Many people are very upset about blonde women coming back. I think that just the fact that we have a blonde woman on the show, is that a Nazi dog whistle? Is that what?
Sure is a Nazi dog. I don't have blue eyes though.
People they're saying that they're taking objection to the use of the word genes, I guess, right? That she has good genes, and that because that it brings back, memories of eugenics or something like that. I don't know. And what the Nazis did, and believing in the master race and all this other stuff.
Yeah. Except that everyone loves eugenics until Republicans make a joke about it, I guess.
Right.
They love.
Abortion's built around eugenics.
It's a smart marketing campaign, actually.
Well, yeah, it's a very smart marketing campaign. It was great. I mean, and it's again, like, as a conservative Christian news outlet, we're not out there endorsing the the sexual nature of the ad at all. But like, as far as provocative ads go, it really didn't push the envelope too far. Like, she's wearing a lot more clothes than girls are, and I don't know, the Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition. Although that's not girls anymore. That's mostly trans guys, I think. In that, yeah.
I love that on the Not the Bee article that we put, was it a strawberry or something over her backside? I appreciate
Bob the
that.
Tomato, I think.
Bob the Tomato. That's right. Sorry. Yeah.
He's always watching and judging you.
But I think it's weird, just as a personal, like, the thing I get really weirded out by in all this is that these people that are pushing this narrative that this, scantily clad woman, this is somehow provocative and beyond what we should be showing people or whatever. And it's like, and these, like, the Democrats are these people, they're out there having gay pride marches naked through the streets for little kids. And it's like you throw a pretty blonde up there and they get all mad about it. And I guess it's maybe not about how much cleavage she's showing, right? They're saying it's because she's white, blonde, and blue-eyed. And we're saying something positive about her, right? It's like, no, if a white skinned, blue-eyed, blonde-haired person is on screen, we should be saying something negative about them. That's what I think. That's what the summary of the kickback from this is, right? It's just like,
while I don't necessarily approve of the objectification of women, I think that advertisers should do 10x more of these, because if nothing else, it's so funny because the Democrats were like, how do we bring in more male voters? How do we bring in more men? We also hate hot women. Women are bad, and you have to only like these gender ambiguous, pink haired nose ring ladies. And
it's so insane how out of touch they are. It's like, why are we not popular with young men? Why are the reports keep coming out, but even today another report came out about how far right young men are
plus
shifting.
17 or something in the young
since
demographic.
2023.
Yeah, it's insane.
Have you guys seen the new American Eagle ad that just came out today?
No.
American Eagle is rebranding. They're calling it American Indian. And who's the face of the campaign? Elizabeth Warren, talking about her jeans.
This is 100% real news.
1,024th Native American, I believe.
So am I, Liz.
Same amount of cotton in their jeans.
So Travis, tell us how you felt about Sydney Sweeney laying in different poses.
I have gone out of my way to avoid looking at those ads. I see it coming up in the news. I'm like, I don't know. This is not a good idea. I'm not going to look at that. My exposure to bad word. The one time I've seen Sydney Sweeney was in Madam Web, and that was such a bad movie, which I knew it would be bad going into it, but I was just so curious.
I don't even know what that is.
It's a movie. It's based on a comic book.
Okay. Madam Web. Does it have to do with Spider-Man?
Sort of. It's Spider-Man
adjacent.
adjacent.
My mom was hunting spiders in the Amazon when she died. Is that where that line comes from?
Yeah.
Yes.
Well,
okay.
I
only
don't
know
know
it
if it's
through
a verbatim line, but yes, that's
it's
basically
been,
what happens.
I only know that through, as I know most stupid movies, through watching like the Honest trailer YouTube videos and the pitch meetings. But I forgot she was in that. She was pretty in that movie. She looked pretty.
Nice.
She looks pretty.
Dan, can you do what Robin's doing right now?
Shoulders.
This is the shoulder shimmy.
Hold on, I didn't see it because what is it? Let me see it.
This is a shoulder shimmy.
So speaking of Sweeney, let's watch our blue hair breakdown a little earlier this week. Because, like I said, the responses to this are just insane. It's like if there's a person who looks like a typical white person, especially a blonde with blue eyes, the reaction is so visceral now. Like they've gotten so used to over-representation of minorities that representation of an actual white person scares them, offends them, and triggers them or something like that. So this is one of those people who she calls herself, I think she refers to herself as a brown girl, and talking about how difficult it is to grow up knowing that there are people like Sydney Sweeney out there.
That exist. That exist.
All right, here we go. Let's watch this blue hair breakdown.
I really wasn't going to weigh in on this, but here we go. It is so difficult to grow up as a person of color, specifically a woman, and view yourself as beautiful in any sense of the word growing up in this country. I remember growing up in a predominantly white community, wishing myself out of this body, out of this culture, take my name, if it meant that I could wake up blonde-haired and blue-eyed, never having to explain who I am or worry about being accepted. That is why this American Eagle ad with Sydney Sweeney is especially off-putting. There's a lot of rhetoric right now online about the political ideologies that this represents, and I don't discount that, but for me, I can't help but think about the 13-year-old brown girl who gets all her denim at American Eagle, who already struggles to see her beauty.
I'm going to pause it for a second. I mean, this is insane.
Oh my gosh.
They've been all about representation. We need to see more brown girls or women of color or people of color in all these different roles. And they've been getting them, lots of them, more than they should be, because they're rewriting history for Netflix specials and all this other stuff in order to get, Black kings of England and things like that in there. And it's like, and now that what she's saying, whoever this person is that not only do they need to see people representing them in advertising, but if they can only see people that represent them in advertising.
Right.
And if they see anybody who doesn't represent them, then that's offensive. It's like, what the heck? All right, let's listen to the rest of it. I don't know. This is crazy. This is just insane.
That continues to value white Eurocentric beauty standards, which I naively thought by this point we would have moved the needle on. And this girl is now wishing she too could wake up with blonde hair and blue eyes. It took me so long.
This is like her own fault for feeling that way, right?
Well, I have a lot.
Correct.
Let's finish the clip and I'm going to come out of the gate because I've got, as the woman
in my life, to look at and see beauty. And I hate that continues to be a shared experience for young brown girls.
Oh, God.
Okay. So as a woman, nothing in this world makes women more crazy than seeing another woman who they think is more attractive. We are just an incredibly insecure group. And, you can call it whatever you want, insecurity or comparison. Women say like, oh, men expect us to wear high heels. No, men don't care. It is you get dressed up, you put on makeup, because you want to look prettier than the women around you. I'm not saying I do this, but I'm saying maybe other women do it. So this has nothing to do with her. This is just catty. Like, I think the woman in that video is very pretty. I think she's pretty. And it's very hard, though, for women to not compare themselves to other women and think, well, she's prettier than me and she's getting more opportunities than me and she's in movies and therefore I feel threatened. And so I'm going to have to find some reason to dislike her and call it bad because she's white. No, this is just age-old female insecurity. And I do it too. I mean, I don't think men do it for sure. I'm not a man, so I can't speak to the male mentality, but I have a lot of men in my life. And I know that men, look at guys at the gym or, guys who are fit, but there's something intrinsically female about what?
Oh, look at that stud. Wow.
I don't know.
How much do you bench, bro?
This is exactly how I felt ever since I watched Commando and saw Arnold Schwarzenegger.
This is the second time in a row you brought that up, Travis.
I feel very threatened by Arnold Schwarzenegger's physique.
Yes,
I do too, but for a different reason.
And he's white.
And he's kind of. He has an accent.
Almost German.
German adjacent.
Germanish.
German.
Yeah,
but
Germanish.
The fact that as a white woman and a blonde white woman, do I need models to look like me for me to relate to them and want to buy their product? No,
yes.
But it has been,
no.
There's been a shift, in the last 10, 20, 30 years to put more representation in advertising and whatever. I don't really.
It's fine. Like
fine.
In general,
but we get
fine.
one. We can have one. Okay. We can have one hot blonde chick. I don't know if Sydney Sweeney, I think there's probably more attractive blonde haired, blue eyed blonde chick, blonde haired, blue-eyed. I can't talk.
Your blonde is coming out.
My blonde is coming out. But I just think this whole thing, and I think it's stupid. It's always the left versus the right, because I don't think a lot of people on the right care that much, other than the Democrats are being ridiculous. And I think it's a very smart marketing campaign from American Eagle. And they didn't apologize for it. Yesterday, they came out with a statement. They're like, that's what we did. We put her in our ad. Deal with it.
Yeah, nobody should have to apologize.
No, of course not.
That's probably the smartest thing they did is not apologize.
Right. We've been learning and researching.
Apologize. There's nothing to apologize for. They're allowed to have models from different backgrounds. And it's not like American Eagle has never run an ad with a woman of color in it. I guarantee you that the majority of their ads over the last 6 years have had people that aren't blonde hair, blue-eyed females. Anyway, that's
that Jimmy Swole guy. I don't know if you guys follow that. Is that his name?
Yeah.
I know his last name is
Swole.
No, Swole, the bodybuilder guy who apologized. Yeah. I can't remember his first name. If it's not Jimmy, I apologize. He's a big influencer guy, and he apologized because he said he wrote a note of condolence to Hulk Hogan's family when Hulk Hogan passed away, and then he said, "I've been studying and learning, and I know now that Hulk Hogan was a bad man, and I apologize for." So, did you see that, Travis? It was
but I mean, just how dare you feel bad about having empathy for someone?
for
like,
someone.
oh, I felt bad that he died, and some well wishes for his family. I feel I regret it. I mean, what?
Yeah, so
it's just bizarre.
People often do back down and apologize, though. I don't know why some of them do. Some of them you don't expect. I wouldn't have expected him to have apologized, especially because what he did wasn't bad. Like you said, condolences for somebody who died. You typically reach across the aisle for those. Like you know, if somebody on the other side dies, you don't celebrate like. Well, the left does typically.
They do,
but I wouldn't personally.
Ridiculous.
But there's so much pressure to follow the narrative that people cave, and it's not just pressure to follow the narrative. It's just like this. It feels like just this tide pushing us to a specific narrative, and that's no better representative than our next segment, which is talking about dishonest media and how the media is weaving a narrative of a reality that doesn't actually exist. There are two huge stories this week related to it. Number one is the New York Times publishing an article about a young boy in Gaza who they have said is severely
malnourished,
and being starved to death. And it's supposed to be this powerful, empathetic picture of what's going on in Gaza. And again, that's not to undermine the fact that there are people in Gaza that are obviously displaced and not comfortable or not getting necessarily as much nutrition or food as they need. I mean, it's a war zone. It happens, right? It is happening. It's sad. It's very sad. But the narrative obviously is meant to undermine this very specific country, Israel, and what they're doing there, and to make them look bad. And it's a very dishonest story. And you can tell us exactly why, Robin. What was going on there?
Well, it's so crazy. So the New York Times put out this picture. It's a mother. It's a picture of an 18-year-old little boy, and he looks incredibly emaciated. And I would like to say, at the start, there is a hunger crisis in Gaza right now, and the information, the Free Press, if anybody reads the Free Press, has done some phenomenal reporting on it, and I would encourage people to go read the articles they put out this week on what really is happening. You have, the UN trying to manage the aid, which essentially just gets stolen, or they give it to Hamas. Hamas takes it and then tries to resell it back to the people at a massive premium. And this has created a big food shortage in Gaza, and they are running out of food. This is happening, and it's really tragic. And then there's the Gaza Humanitarian Fund that's come in, and they're a nonprofit. They're operating more under the leadership of the Trump administration. And they've been they have a much more organized system of handing out aid, but they've been criticized for being, not fast enough or not good enough or led by the IDF or whatever. So in the middle of all of this, and there's so much that comes out of Hamas, the Gaza Health Ministry, which is just a Hamas news outlet. And so you have this photo that the New York Times put out on their main page. They publish an article on their main paper, and it shows this really sad. And it turns out that this little boy has a pre-existing condition where he has a genetic disorder that makes him, I can't remember the name of the disorder, but he has a health condition. And if you zoom out on the picture, which we have copies of the actual picture, the mother.
This is the article. They took that picture down.
Yeah. So the first thing I noticed when I looked at the picture, and this is because I'm a person who's been in journalism for years, and I'm a mother, is I thought, the mom looks really well fed. And then, which is interesting because as a mother, I would be a skeleton before my children would be. Like you just couldn't. There is no place in the earth where I would look well fed and my kids would not. And then if you zoom out more on the picture, her other son is standing next to her and he looks fine. So here's this awful, awful picture of this little boy, and it's just tragic. I have a 15-month-old little girl, and this just pulls. It's
yeah.
But he has a health condition that makes him look like that.
So the whole issue is that this was on the cover. This is the story. This is the picture. Right. This is what hits people. We live in a world where people are hit by headlines. Really, they don't even necessarily read the whole story, and they're definitely painting a picture and misrepresenting this particular child. Who then they released an update under the different accounts.
So then they put it out on their communications page. So their main page has like 50 million followers or I can't remember the guy, but a lot, millions and millions on X of followers.
Right. And the other one has 90,000.
80,000 followers. And so and this is not how you do it. As someone who's worked in journalism, if you print a correction, the correction has to come out in the same form that the article came out. This is journalistic ethics. You're supposed to put it out in the same format. If you're issuing a correction, it needs to go to the same audience that saw the original article. So they issued a correction, and even the correction was so mealy mouthed. It was like, while there is this little boy we also learned has this, but they never said that they manipulated.
And they talk about how it's come to our attention and blah, blah, blah. But it was their journalist who wrote the story, who took the pictures, who is there and had the opportunity to talk to the mother and obviously knew what was going on.
Well, and it wasn't, their journalists are they're Hamas. They're Gazan journalists. They're not American journalists wandering around. It's mostly they're getting all their information from the same source. Joel Berry of the Babylon Bee put out a really good tweet today that I just read right before we went on air that said something to the effect of, people who are so skeptical of COVID, rightfully so, are now buying into so much propaganda coming out of Gaza, and we need to use the same level of discernment when consuming information on both sides, right? On the side of Israel and on the side of Gaza. But just to swallow hook, line, and sinker anything coming out of Gaza.
The big story to me isn't the child. The child obviously has issues and needs to get healthcare. Like I don't have any, I don't take any problem with them publishing an article about it if they're being honest with it. The problem is how they presented it and then how they corrected it. And this is what ends up happening is they simply issue corrections later. They issue updates, stealth edits, all these different things. And then the story's already hit, like it's already had its impact. And nobody is going back and reading those editors' updates. When we publish stories, it's like 97% of your views on that story are going to happen in the first hour that the article is published, right? 3 hours later, when you issue an update, it's there, it's publicly visible, but you're only getting 1, 2, 3% of your total traffic would even see that. And that's when you publish it directly on the article, which they didn't do. They published it in a different place. And that's one example of the media just manipulating the narrative exactly how they want it. And they know what they're doing. Like, this is planned. They knew they were going to have to put out this update. They just planned to do it after the article hit, which is just so dishonest. I mean, never once would I ever think to do something like that. It's insane that this is how our media works.
Yeah. And as a last note, anything that comes out of the UN right now, people that don't know enough about politics and how global and foreign policy works, if it's coming from the UN, you can almost guarantee it's wrong. And there's an incredible ideological bent from the UN right now. Not just right now, forever and ever, but the UN hates Israel. So anything they put out is going to be incredibly anti-Israel, even if it doesn't look like it. So people just think they hear UNICEF and all these things and they think it's a good cause. The UN is not a good actor. And it's
because the UN was originally set up to be a good actor, right? So I mean, Superman even talked to them about getting rid of all nuclear weapons. They're a force for good. But now you got like Middle Eastern countries that hate Israel on the Security Council. It doesn't make any sense.
Here's another example of dishonesty in the media. And this one's a quick one, but I'm going to show a quick video here if I can figure out how to present it on screen. All right, here we go. So this is...
so ridiculous.
This is on CNN. So this is reporting on the shooting that happened.
So for our listeners, there was a shooting that happened in New York. A man took a gun and went into a large office building and went up to like the 33rd floor and just started shooting people. He said he had issues with the NFL. There's a lot of interesting information, but this report came out right as the shooting was kind of unfolding. This is what CNN.
And this is also being. This picture that you see on screen, if you're watching, was on screen while they say this. So here we go. I'm going to play the clip.
Scene showing you here to John's reporting that they do know what he looks like, male, possibly white, mustache, sunglasses, in that building, isolated to, they believe.
Male. Possibly white. I mean, this surveillance photo that you see to the left side here was available from the very beginning. Yeah. Possibly white. It's just like, they'll go to any stretch to be able to plant seeds of distrust of white people, of whiteness, of whatever doesn't align with the narrative. It doesn't just have to be Israel or Jewish people or white people or whatever. It's just whatever doesn't go along with the narrative. They did the same thing back in COVID with people who are questioning vaccines. anything that they can do to present the information to you the very first time with the seeds of doubt, and then later clarify that it definitely wasn't a white person, you know? And it's like, and why does it even matter at this point in time? Like an act like this is an act of cowardice, whether the person is black or white. It's just as sad and just as bad of a story, regardless of what color the person was.
Oh, well, it's interesting because they're going in like an alternate take, because usually now they're like afraid to say, oh, it's an African-American shooter or whatever race it is. But now if it's possibly white, we're going to put that at the forefront.
Possibly white. That's me. I'm possibly white.
You guys don't know what Mr. B looks like. He's possibly white.
He's possibly white.
Possibly a Caucasian male.
Possibly. It is hard, and I'm not going to, I used to work in news, but I worked in news for 15 years. I was an anchor. I was a reporter. And you want to be first, because being first is much better than being second when you're breaking a story. And everybody now is vying for headlines. You don't want to sit on a story, because if you're a news outlet, like, well, CNN didn't report for 4 hours after the shooting came out. And so it is really hard in those first minutes after a story breaks to get out correct information. I've reported stuff before that I've had to go back and say, actually, we got the details wrong. But you don't need to say the
said
race.
Possibly black, though.
Yeah, you don't need to say a race. That has nothing to do with anything. You can just say what you know. Yeah, exactly.
What she's saying without saying it is she's saying hopefully white.
Exactly.
Hopefully
no,
white.
I'm being serious. Like she's saying
right.
hopefully white. And then they found out that it's, wasn't a white person. And the story gets, the story was number one. Now it's down here. And,
no one talks about it.
Yeah.
It's the same thing in Cincinnati right now. All the black people beating up the white people. What if it was reversed? How would what story would that be? Number one, of course.
Yeah, if you haven't heard that, that's crazy. That these couple was at a concert or a festival or something, and they got jumped by these black teens.
Jazz festival.
The craziest thing is that the city councilwoman came out and said that they deserved to be beat up. Did you see that?
I did not see that.
She said that she was happy about it. Yeah, a city councilwoman said that she.
So they were asking for it.
Because they were asking for it. She said something along the lines of like she's blessed by it or something like that. I forget exactly what her words were.
I mean, I saw that the chief of police was criticizing people for filming it. Which, I mean, to an extent, I can get that, because you want to call the police and not just sit there and gawk. But someone did call the police, and there's other people filming. So I'm not really sure what the criticism is.
No.
If you have any, raise your hand on YouTube if you still trust the mainstream media. I'd like to talk. If you still are someone who consumes CNN and the New York Times and NPR on a regular basis, and you trust everything they put out, I would come on our show. We'll have you. We'll debate you, because I've worked in media for many years, and we have a media outlet, and Dan and Travis, and we all can talk about. And I would like, because the stats show that I think, because it's like Congress and the media are both competing constantly for the bottom approval ratings. I think it's like 10% or something of people who still trust the mainstream media that are polled. It's just ridiculous. And people say, well, you got to get your news from somewhere. But now there's so many other sources. There's independent news. I follow so many just independent journalists on X and on Substack, and I don't believe anything anybody says at wholesale. I do my research, and it takes a lot of time.
And that's the thing. You said it earlier too. It's like with the Gaza thing. It's like I do not believe everything that I hear about Israel. I don't believe everything I hear about Gaza. I typically am very skeptical of everything until I can really see that many different voices from different sides kind of can come to some sort of coherent agreement on the facts of a story, rather than just like, not to throw her under the bus, but libs of TikTok posted this or something like that, and then just like that's my truth now,
that's my
because
take.
Somebody that I overwhelmingly do trust the opinion of said something. I don't just follow it blindly. I'm like, okay, libs of TikTok said it. Is there somebody kind of left leaning who's also reporting on the same thing? And you have to have that mentality in order to really try and find the truth today, because it's just.
But it doesn't make for great radio, because everybody wants a hot take and they want it right now, and that's why I don't think I'll ever be like a firebrand, because I'm more of a I don't know about that. I don't know about that.
Yeah, they don't want people who are just going to be reasonable and go, well, we're considering this, and they want people with really obvious.
Are you guys trying to tell me that
opinions.
People don't want to hear me talk?
No, I'm just saying.
It's because you're probably white.
It's because you're probably white. People just want really strong opinions, and I have them. Once I form my opinions, I definitely am very passionate about things I believe in, but I just try to absorb more information before I weigh in on any one particular issue. Please clap.
Good.
That's all. Thank you. Thank you. That's all I want.
I was going to edit
clap.
that, but I'm going to leave that. That's
No.
great.
Edit it so that she says, please clap.
I'm better than everyone because I
Jeb clip.
research my issues first.
I love the Jeb clip. All right. That's the Dishonest Media. Now we have a new segment this week, which is called, we have typically every week we do the Blue Haired Breakdown. This year we are, this year we have a like once per year podcast, an annual podcast. We're going to do the Blue Haired, I'm going to call it the Blue Haired Gravitational Collapse. This just happened. This happened about a half hour ago. Do not know what happened. I think this is the first time that you guys are seeing this clip as well.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
This is our very favorite Native American senator having a little bit of a battle with gravity. Her people had a battle with possibly white people about 300 years ago. Elizabeth Warren falls over on the Senate floor.
Oh no.
Senators voting in the affirmative: Baldwin, Blunt Rochester.
She didn't get hurt. I'm allowed to laugh. She didn't get hurt.
She leans on a table and it gives way.
She thought she was leaning on the other things that are taller, and there was nothing there.
Oh, I feel bad. If I were in the public light, this would just be me 24/7 because I am the most awkward, klutzy human.
Yeah. When you hear that she's going to fall, you almost think, oh, she's old. She's going to do an old lady break her hip thing. But that's just a classic, clumsy, trying to look like a cool senator and you slip. And I don't know. I like it. Yeah. It's beloved.
It is. Yeah. It is. That was endearing. That was actually probably the most likable thing Elizabeth Warren's ever done.
She's going to be president now.
That's the most
she's
relatable.
Be president.
Mm-hmm. That is by far the most relatable thing she has ever done,
my goodness,
in her life. All right, so another big story this week, just to kind of, I don't want to gloss over it, but it is an important thing. I want to at least have a quick conversation about it. And it follows with what we talked about 2 weeks ago, which was the Chip and Joanna Gaines thing, right? Where they have this show, Back to the Frontier, and they've got this gay couple that they're prominently featuring on the show as this family, even though they're not technically a family because the men are not even married to each other, whether you believe in that stuff or not, like if you believe that that's a legitimate marriage or not. They're not even married to each other, and they have adopted kids, or are they?
From what I read, it was a surrogate, but it was one of their biological child. I don't know which one.
They have two kids though, or are they both theirs? I don't know. But anyway, this whole thing with the gay couples and the kids, which isn't necessarily represented directly in that show, but it is like the topic of the day is, gay couples going out and kind of buying kids. I think they did do it. I think one of the two families in the Chip and Joanna Gaines show is a surrogate kid, I think. And now you have this other couple that actually, I'll put the picture up here. We ran this article. Yes, it's very difficult. I don't want to reach up to 100,000 more users now and pay you. Stop, go away. Convicted sex offender, gay husband shares surrogacy journey on social media. Buckle up for this one. So this is a situation just like that. And not only are they a gay couple that bought a baby, but one of them is a convicted sex offender. And what we don't say in this headline, which makes it even more egregious, is that it's a child sex crime.
Was it before? I read about this. I couldn't figure out. Was it before they had the child or before? So he had a record. He has this on his record.
He has a record. I don't think he's able to live within, whatever number of feet of a school, but he's allowed to buy a baby. So he's just going around the system in order to get access. Yeah,
he probably wouldn't be able to adopt. So he's going for the surrogacy route where he would definitely not be able to adopt. A relationship with the mom and then by the baby. So I
Sex
don't know.
offenders.
I don't know entirely how that works, but
sex offenders
No.
definitely would get denied adoption. He would not be able to adopt.
Well, it's crazy to me because I've been reading so many stories when this came out of people who like, hey, my sister tried to adopt for 10 years and they wouldn't let her because of some little, she had a health condition and they thought it was preventative from her adopting. So I think it's just, I would like to read more about this. I tried really hard to dig how on earth they were able to go through
it's
with
right
it all.
here. So Brandon Keith Mitchell is a tier 1 sex offender in the state of Pennsylvania and was arrested in 2016 after attempting to solicit a 16-year-old boy for sexual abuse. The victim in the case was a student at Downingtown West High School, where Mitchell had worked as a chemistry teacher. He was 30 years old at the time. First of all, how is he not in prison? Right? He was sentenced to 23 months of incarceration. Like, I mean, it's insane. And these people are just able to purchase. And then there's always the question, which is a legitimate question. We're like Candace Owens, we're just asking questions. Why is it always that these gay couples are buying boys? You never see them with girls.
It's awful. Medical and bioethics is crazy. I have a dear friend who her and her husband could not conceive. They wanted their own children so badly. And so they did go through a surrogacy company or agency, and it's their child. It's their biological child that this other woman carried. And now that they're able to have kids, and I'm sure we have listeners who think that's unethical. I don't know. I've heard there's a whole spectrum of ethics when it comes to fertility, and I'm always kind of reevaluating where I fall on the spectrum. But this is clear cut. Like, this man should not be around children or should have children. How he was able to procure this baby and through what methods, definitely, especially when there's so many wonderful couples that have to go through so many hoops, it begs a lot of questions.
It just doesn't. It's a way around. It's something that, even whether you believe in surrogacy or not, whether you think that should even exist at all for couples who aren't able to conceive for anything, like obviously there's adoption for that also. But whether you think surrogacy, IVF, all those other things that kind of all go together are good or not, for sure, whether it's a straight couple or a gay couple, somebody convicted of a serious child sex crime should not be allowed to surrogate somebody just like they can't adopt them. So why aren't there any controls? Why is it the Wild West? Why are you able to do this?
Yeah. So this is, I guess, one of those places where we would be okay with some government intervention. Like maybe there should be a law that if you're going to surrogate, you have to perform a background check.
You think that would be I don't know. Especially
or maybe
if
she saw it and she's like, yeah, it's fine.
If it's a gay couple, they had a donor egg, which means a woman donated her egg to make this baby. You'd think that she would go through a background check if they're getting her egg, and you'd think they would. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if someone's donating an egg, they probably did it for money. And, they're probably somewhat desperate. I don't know. I mean, I don't want to make too many assumptions, but they might not be thinking, oh, I should do a background check.
Right. Yeah. It's like I said, bioethics and when I hear people who are pretty black and white on the issues, I think, well, there's always a case here or there, like my friends who I know there are people who would say they shouldn't have gone that route or should have gone adoption and whatever. And I just didn't have an opinion. I welcomed their baby, and whatever. But I don't know. I learn more. Again, I learn more about things as I go. And it's interesting to form opinions on this.
So to try and lighten the mood a little bit, because it's been a little bit heavy, some of the topics
dark.
we're talking about today. Let's watch something funny. This Twitter handle, Diaper Diplomacy, put out this video. And I actually... sorry, Robin.
It's okay. I haven't seen this one. So
This is not your typical one. The reason this one is good is just because of how funny the actual interaction was. And if you're listening, it's funny without seeing the babies superimposed over top of it. I was doing something the other night. I was working actually, and I had the news on in the background, and it kept repeating like the same 20. It was like not the actual news, but it was like some summary news station in a hotel, and it kept repeating the same thing over and over. So I heard this exact conversation like 12 times in a row, and it wasn't until like the 8th time I'm like, am I hearing this right? Like, this is like one of the most hilarious conversations I've ever had. And it's Donald Trump sitting down. I think it's the president of the EU, or so, I honestly don't know exactly what.
So it's a real conversation.
A real conversation. This was only a couple of days ago, and they were talking about other stuff. They were talking about the deal that the United States was going to make with the EU, which is going to be the biggest economic deal of all time. And they had kind of somewhat agreed in principle on this like economic deal. But then he went off on a tangent, and the tangent is wind farms. And so that's where this conversation starts. And somebody, Diaper Diplomacy, they made an AI video to kind of overlay the audio of this conversation. So if you're watching this, you can see, we'll show a short clip of it too, but you should watch the entire clip. You can find them on Twitter. I think their handle is @Diaper Diplomacy if you want to see the whole video. It's good already, right? He hasn't even started.
I love it.
All right, here we go.
And the other thing I say to Europe, we will not allow a windmill to be built in the United States. They're killing us. They're killing the beauty of our valleys, our beautiful plains. And I'm not talking about airplanes. I'm talking about beautiful plains, beautiful areas in the United States. And you look up and you see windmills all over the place. It's a horrible thing. It's the most expensive form of energy. It's no good. They're made in China, almost all of them. When they start to rust and rot in 8 years, you can't really turn them off. You can't bury them. They won't let you bury the propellers, the props, because there's a certain type of fiber that doesn't go well with the land. That's what they say. The environmentalists say you can't bury them because the fiber doesn't go well with the land. In other words, if you bury it, it will harm our soil. The whole thing is a con job. It's very expensive. And in all fairness, Germany tried it, and wind doesn't work. You need subsidy for wind, and energy should not need subsidy. With energy, you make money. You don't lose money. But more important than that is it ruins the landscape. It kills the birds. They're noisy. You have a certain place in the Massachusetts area that over the last 20 years had one or two whales wash ashore.
Trump off the cuff is the best Trump
over the last short period of time. They had 18. Okay? Because it's driving them loco. It's driving them.
I'll stop there.
Is Trump autistic? He knows a lot about windmills.
That is a long conversation about how he doesn't like the windmills. Yeah.
He's little baby, looks like my baby, the lady baby sitting there.
The lady baby giving the side eye as he's talking is brilliant. Like,
that kind of made the whole thing work.
It's really well done.
Someone needs to compile just like a super cut of the Trump off the cuff monologues because they're so funny. He's just going, and sometimes he strikes gold, and I'm like, yeah, I agree. Like, windmills are dumb. And other times he's like, and the sailboats, we don't like them. They block the views, and they got the jib. What's the jib? What are we like? It's a little bit of Seinfeld in there. He's just got kind of this cadence that's a little like a stand-up comic, but you never. If and I'm going to say this, and I'm going to get in trouble. I love my husband, but he's a storyteller, and he likes to sometimes at like social events, and I always have this moment where I'm like, oh, okay, where are we going with this? Oh, great. We're talking about this. And I think if I'm one of Trump's handlers, you just have to get over that real quick. Like, if you're one of his aides, you're just like, he's going, we're going to let it happen. We're not going to worry about it. We're not going to cut him off. God forbid, you don't cut off Trump. I don't think anybody's tried, but. I
love it too when he talks about things that he doesn't know about, like that very specific fibers. He's like, they're very specific. And he went on later, and it actually isn't in that video, but he says, I know what fibers they are. He said that just to let you know. He knows what they are. He's just not going to say. He's not going to say the name of the fibers.
Yeah, he's very funny.
He's getting out in front of the story that he doesn't know what those fibers are.
Going off of what you said, Robin, I would pay money for a white noise machine that you press it and it's just white Trump noise rambling for a while. Yeah.
It's just Trump going. Well, remember in the election when he was talking about sharks and electricity on the boat? That's my favorite Trump cut of all time. He's like, they asked if I was on a boat, very smart guys, and I'm a very smart man. If the boat's sinking and there's an electric generator on, I'm getting it wrong, but would you jump off or would you stay on the boat? I'd stay on the boat because there's sharks in the water. Like, it's just this, but so funny. You can't even like, and then he turns around and is like super smart on foreign policy. And you remember, okay, he's a smart guy. But yeah, I think that'd be great, Travis. Just have like a white noise machine that's just Trump monologues.
Yeah, I'm going to sleep. Let me get my Trump dose. And he talks for an hour.
You'd have weird dreams, though. You'd have really weird dreams. They'd be Trump dreams.
The best dreams.
The
best dreams. Everyone's talking about it. The
Everyone's
greatest
talking
dreams.
about them.
Just tremendous dreams.
Tremendous dreams.
Yeah, no one dreams like me. They're just fantastic dreams.
Speaking of, I dream of the forum sometimes, and here we are at the forum.
Very nice transition, Dan. That was good. What are we doing this week?
We're doing some published headlines, and then we'll do some featured. We'll do some, and then we'll do some I'm Feeling Lucky, so we can
random
feature some more. Yeah. So Travis, you got to read these, and then we got to figure out what we're going to do with our reactions.
All right. So this one comes from Dull Amroth. CNN, possibly white murder suspect identified. And there's a picture of O.J. Simpson.
That's
looking
good.
So handsome.
That was published. What did we, let's see what we did as the actual headline. It was CNN, white man and Bronco leading police on high-speed chase. Yeah. Should have said possibly white man. Right.
The only reason that the headline got me a little bit is they just had that meme with Obama and the white Bronco.
Yeah, it's the same meme. Yeah,
and I thought we were making a joke on that, so it took me a minute to figure it out.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm all for OJ jokes though.
Yeah, they'll never die. I'm like OJ.
From the captain, winning. Corporations now only exploiting normal lust to sell their products instead of weird, gay, perverted lust. This really is like lust. 4D chess by Satan to get us to like sin again. Like,
yeah.
He's pushing transgender so that, Sydney Sweeney can come back and be everyone and be like, yeah, okay, I'm in.
I'm going to put, for that one, should I put Shakespeare, which is theater, which is kind of weird and gay? Or
Shakespeare in Love.
What? Shakespeare's not weird and gay.
Men in tights.
With cowboy hat for Brokeback Mountain. Yeah. All right.
Sure. From Slinky, Hulk Hogan challenges Jacob to wrestling match.
Nice.
We did that one. Hulk Hogan makes surprise entrance to challenge Jacob to wrestling match. Pretty much unchanged. A little wording change with the published one. All right.
From Webiator. Sweatshop employees happily make "Pay Us What You Owe Us" t-shirts for underpaid professional athletes.
Oh my gosh, we talked about that last week.
We talked about that one last week.
The WNBA.
It's fixed on there for exactly 1 week, so that one had just come out. Yeah, slaves dutifully so pay us what you owe us on shirts for professional athletes. All right, let's go to, I'm going to do I'm Feeling Lucky one early this time. Here we go.
Ooh.
All right, let's see.
From Skull, rookie... How do you, Skull?
Skull, yeah.
Rookie introvert can't wait to hit the gritty in the middle of the dance circle.
What is the gritty?
I don't know.
Anybody know?
One knows.
No one.
I don't even know what a dance circle is.
It's a very specific type of dance.
Wait, do you know, Dan, what a gritty is?
Yeah, I mean, I have kids.
I have kids.
Do they hit the gritty?
I'm not going to do it. Yeah, they hit the gritty.
I'm
going to put Pooh Storm on that one. For whatever reason. All right, I'm going to do it again. I'm Feeling Lucky again.
Trooper 777 is reporting cackling hyenas line up to be the audiobook voice for Kamala Harris' new autobiography.
That's good.
I like it.
That's good. Give him an upvote. It's cogent, it's well written, and it's short.
He's worth a pizza party.
Pizza party.
Yeah.
All right, one more Feeling Lucky on this one. I like his little thing. He's a little golfer. It's nice.
Golf.
Okay.
From the captain, Invasion of the Body Snatchers reboot to have everybody slowly being replaced with Pedro Pascal.
That's good. I'm impressed with our I'm Feeling Lucky this week.
I'm going to go ahead and give it an advanced TIE fighter since Pedro Pascal has also invaded the Star Wars galaxy.
He did. Oh, yeah. He's Mandalorian. No,
Mando.
Yeah.
That wasn't his big break. His big break.
That's the first time I heard of him.
Me too.
His big break was, his biggest thing that made an impact was Game of Thrones.
He was in Game of Thrones?
Oh. Yeah, he was the fighter from the...
I forgot he was in that.
Like the Arabian
I dropped out
country.
by then. That was post Jason Momoa. I didn't watch anything after Jason Momoa died. For reasons.
What reasons, Robin?
Sydney Sweeney reasons. I get one.
From Toe Jam
Football. Trump informs Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney he needs to move the cool air as indicated or face new tariffs on moose lips.
I don't know about that
like
one.
the most stupid. I like the wording of it. Move the cool air as indicated.
What are moose? Oh, wait. I think I know. Do I know?
I don't know.
Are moose lips like moose knuckles?
I don't know.
Where are we going with this?
D knows what I'm talking about. I don't know what moose lips. I'm tired. I'm too scared.
I'm not saying anything. I love you guys.
I just like
too
that
much
you went
for
through
that.
the trouble of making a picture that looks like a weather report.
That's more than I ever do for a headline, and I get paid.
That's so funny.
Oh no, I want to talk about Happy Gilmore too, but let's do that.
Okay,
after
let's talk about it. Let's talk about it now. We did too many.
Well, you said golf. We watched it this week. We don't really do movie reviews on here, but I want to give my honest review of Happy Gilmore too. Did anybody watch it?
Yeah, I watched it. I watched it the night.
Wait, who watched it?
No.
You did?
Yeah.
You did? Okay. I give it a solid C. The first half was actually cogent and funny, and I laughed. And granted, I was putting a baby to sleep for a lot of it, but I was in and out, and I saw some jokes. The second half was just like, why? I just don't want to ruin it for people, so mute it for the next 30 seconds. But it was just nonsensical, and I know it's Happy Gilmore, but the first one is a really tight comedy. It's a funny comedy. Mm-hmm. It's just got a very simple plot line with some great like side characters. Did you see it yet, Travis?
No, I haven't seen it yet, but I liked the first movie a lot.
We watched it with my kids recently, and it's just one of those tight 90s comedies. It's goofy, but has direction and focus and some great one-liners, and just like, sorry, I'm going to say a swear word on our thing, but the Jackass, that guy's like my favorite, like my favorite character in any, you can bleep it B if you need to. I don't know how sensible we are. But like, there's so many funny characters. The Price is Wrong, Bob. Like there's so many quotable lines. The second one is just forgettable, but it started out actually decent. And I was kind of like, yeah, we're going to get finally a sequel that's straight to streaming sequel that's not half bad.
Let me rebut it a little bit. It started off, as I think you used the word cogent. It did, but that's not Happy Gilmore. Like whether or not the first half of the movie was like actually a movie and the second half of the movie did fall apart. I agree with that. Like it's not even like a movie. It's just stuff happening on screen.
So much nonsense.
It doesn't in any way, shape, or form. Nobody like went and watched Happy Gilmore and said, let's match the pacing, the comedic style, the writing style, the way it's shot with like low depth of field cameras. Yeah. Like it's shot like it's, they're using a DSLR to shoot this thing or something like that.
Are you saying it was a cash grab, Dan?
Well, of course I'm saying this. Of course that's what it was. But I'm like, but why not? If you're going to make Happy Gilmore 2, just make a movie. Like, why not actually make it a movie? Like it was literally filmed.
I don't get it.
It's filmed with high quality cameras, but it's filmed as if it was just, they I don't know. And it's like, it's a little too like serious at the beginning. Like what happens with this family, and he's dealing with like alcoholism and all this. It's like,
which honestly was kind of the best part of the movie, because in the first movie he's dealing with rage and anger, and in the second movie the conflict is his alcoholism. They could have just kept that as the conflict, but then they had to bring in
light though. If they kept it light, it was very kind of dark. And then every character in these movies, these reboots, it's always the same these days. It's always just like the movie is nothing, and then they just find ways to fill in characters that were in the old movie that you liked, and you're supposed to clap because it's a character from nostalgia. But it's not funny. It's not new. They pretty much always do the exact same gag that they did in the first movie. Yeah. And that's it. And then they're gone. And then I thought
the Eminem cameo was the funniest cameo. That one made me laugh the hardest.
What was the Eminem cameo again? I forget.
He was the guy in the hat. He didn't. My husband was like, "Do you know who that is?" I'm like, "No." He's like, "You don't know who that is?" It's like, "No." And then he's like, "Slim Shady." I was like, "No." He's a guy in the hat he throws in the lake. You're asking me to remember a movie I watched 4 days ago. I just remember
the Scheffler one. The Scheffler stuff was the best cameo stuff. Where he was like, yeah, Scotty Scheffler got arrested, which he did get arrested in real life. He's like, not again. Funny. And then at the end, they asked him if he wanted to go home, and he's like, well, what are you having for dinner? He's like, chicken nuggets. He's like, no, I'll stay.
Yeah, that was funny.
But it's only kind of funny. It's like a chuckle, and it's really not a Happy Gilmore joke. That's kind of like I don't know. It's just like
a gag.
It's weird. Like, I don't understand it. Like, I understand it's a cash grab, and I understand that like they're doing it just to do it. Kind of. I'm sure he's contractually obligated to make some amount of movies for Netflix, so this was eventually going to happen. I think he signed isn't he contractually obligated to make like 30 movies for Netflix or something ridiculous?
Really?
I don't know about the exact number, but he was contracted to do a lot.
Yeah. There's a lot of them. And so eventually he's going to run out of ideas, but like, why not just make like it can't be that hard. Happy Gilmore, they were just sitting around probably, just like laughing, probably smoking some things or drinking some things and just like coming up with stupid gags and making like a silly movie. I don't get it. Anyway, we've probably talked about it too long. I don't get it.
I don't think we talked about it long enough.
Yeah.
I like the cameos, but it's not a good movie. Even in the parts where it's made like a real movie, that doesn't make sense as a Happy Gilmore movie. It's like
there good comedy sequels? What is a comedy like? Terminator 2 is a better movie than Terminator 1. But like, there are good sequels that are better. Are there any comedy reboots or sequels that are better than the original? Can we think
Caddyshack to Caddyshack 2 was terrible in the same way.
Caddyshack 2 is cleaner though, so
I hate
it's a lot cleaner.
I'm trying to think of just straight up comedies, but like there's
like
a couple
Dumb and Dumber 2 is awful.
Yeah,
Austin Powers, the second one is kind of funny, but not as funny as the first one.
Austin Powers 2 is a good example though. I think Austin Powers 2 is just as good as the first one.
It's funny. They just beat for beat kept the same pacing as
the same thing.
Ace Ventura, the second Ace Ventura is very funny. I will say that.
Did you think it's better than the first movie?
No, but it's not bad. Yeah, I can't think of a comedy sequel that's funnier than the first.
Yeah, you have Hangover 2, which is kind of the notorious also.
I love the Hangover movies. I love them so much. They're like my 3 favorite movies. It's like my favorite trilogy.
Hangover 2 was pretty good.
To European Vacation to Christmas Vacation.
Oh, Christmas Vacation was better than good. Yeah, that's a good example. Christmas Vacation was the strongest in that series by a long shot.
I'm trying to think of any others. I mean, it depends on if you consider them comedies, but then you have like some of the Pixar movies like Toy Story. Toy Story 2 is probably better than Toy Story 1.
I have one for you if you let me show a clip that I have on my phone of you. For the audience. Hot Shots to Hot Shots Part 2.
Oh yeah. Hot Shots Part 2.
Do I have permission to play that clip?
I don't know, man.
Clip?
Okay. It's funny. Yeah, it's fun. I don't care. We were in Charleston at on an aircraft carrier, and I did a little dance, and I was emulating. The people who are in the know that I was emulating Hot Shots Part D.
What is this?
Not Top Gun
film. Yes,
people would have thought that I'm. Anyway,
it's been a long time since I've seen that.
Me too. We keep thinking we're to show it to our kids, and then I remember it's pretty.
Actually, I think Hot Shots 1 is the one where he flies. Hot Shots 2 is the one where he's like Rambo, right?
Yeah, he's like Rambo in 2.
Yeah, so it's Hot Shots. Actually, Hot Shots 1 that I
Naked Gun 2.5 was better than the first movie.
Yeah.
Airplane 2 also is pretty funny.
I've not seen it.
Airplane 2. But I know that the Spaceballs movie, unfortunately, Spaceballs 2 is probably going to be more like Happy Gilmore 2 than it is.
No expectations.
I'm worried about that one.
Absolutely zero expectations.
I wish they wouldn't do it. I just wish they wouldn't do it.
I mean, Mel Brooks is still involved, so I don't know.
Isn't he like 95?
I have no idea. He's up there, though. He's up there.
He's very old. You guys keep talking. I'm looking it up.
But he is a heroic World War II veteran, and he deserves your respect.
I feel like there's some comedy.
He's 99.
99?
99 years old. Here's a picture of him. Look at that. High def.
Wow, he looks so blurry now. Yeah.
He's probably, unfortunately, not going to make it to his to the premiere of the new movie. I looked up what people consider the best comedy sequels, and it's Gremlins 2. I don't consider Gremlins comedies. Rush Hour 2. That actually was pretty good. Rush Hour 2 is good.
I wouldn't say it's better, but it's
definitely good. American Pie 2 is probably as good as American Pie. It was pretty much the same exact thing. And Back to the Future is not a comedy.
Yeah.
Airplane 2. I don't know. It's pretty much we got all of them, guys. I think
there's not a ton of comedy sequels in general.
Zoolander 2 sucked. Zoolander 2 was terrible.
Yeah, it was awful. And I love the first movie. Mm-hmm. So that was disappointing for sure.
Is this our question segment for the week?
Yeah. No, well, I don't know. Mr. B, do you have anything for us this week or no? Because
we might as well keep with this theme. This is for the group. Are there any series that anyone is binging right now?
Like TV series?
Yes.
Yeah.
My husband has been trying for our almost 18 years of marriage to try to get me into Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It's one of his favorite shows ever. And I have refused because I didn't like it in the 90s. It's just not my show, but we've been watching them. And I will say it's better than I remember. And I do like Joss Whedon. So, that's what I wouldn't say we're binging it, but I've made it to I made it 4 episodes in as opposed to like a half, which I usually give up on. So I don't know if we have any Buffy fans here. Travis, you nodded when I said that.
I liked it all right. I've seen it. I went through it. I kind of had the same misgivings about you, honestly, where I was like, yeah, this doesn't seem like my thing. Why would I watch this? But when I watched it, it was like, oh, it's actually.
I love Firefly. I'm a huge fan of Firefly, and that was the one he did after Buffy. So I'm gonna give it a shot, but it's been 30 years, so I don't know. That's me though. Buffy, very current.
I'm not going through anything new. I'm going through Parks and Rec again. It's been a while since I've seen that, and I like seeing classic Chris Pratt. That's kind of fun.
Mm-hmm.
He was really good on that show.
I'm on Squid Game too. I don't know that I would really strongly recommend it. It's just what I'm watching.
Did you like the first one?
As the first? Yeah.
I mean, the first one is entertaining in a weird way, I guess. Mm-hmm. It's not really good. I don't think you'd call it good, but it's definitely entertaining. And the second one is kind of the same. I heard the third one gets really weird. I don't know what that's all about. So I'm kind of demotivated now because I've heard that.
They're making an American one.
Yeah, and that's kind of like where it ends up, I guess. And I know that
now. Is it called and I'm Sea Turtle Game or something? I don't know what else you'd call it.
The Octopus Game.
Octopus Game. There you go.
Yeah, and then my wife and I are always kind of we're going through The Sopranos right now.
Oh, yeah. I've been meaning to watch that. Is it good? I mean, I know it's
amazing.
Sopranos is one of the best stories. It's interesting.
Yeah, because I made fun of you because you say Sopranos.
What am I supposed to say? Sopranos. I think I mentioned this before on the show, didn't I? I don't know, but I knew James Gandolfini in real life. His niece was one of my best friends growing up. And so I knew him, and I knew the show, but I didn't really watch it. Like, I was too young to really watch a crime show like that and really know how good it really was. And the story is fantastic. The interesting thing about The Sopranos is that it's hit or miss on the production. It's like they had different directors and different, almost different budgets, even from season to season. And you can tell the difference between episodes. Like some episodes just pop in there and it's completely different, like music, like selections and all that. And it's weird. Like there's this kind of disjointedness about it from a production standpoint, which is, you never noticed back then. But it's good. I mean, The Sopranos is one of the best stories if you're just looking for something good to watch that has a lot of episodes. Anyway.
So was Mr. Dillon boring you, Robin? Why are you yawning?
Dang it, I got caught.
That was rude.
Sorry. Tony.
That's going full screen.
I have a lot of kids. I don't sleep a lot, so it has nothing to do with Dan. It's just there comes a moment when it happens.
All right. Anything else, Mr. B?
I believe that we have not asked Travis this question. You live in California, right, Travis?
That is correct.
If you had to move to any other state, what state would it be and why?
Oh, man. Okay, so this is interesting because there are opinions because my wife has kind of semi-dreamed about leaving the democratic utopia of California. You know, just kind of is a dream. And she has family in other places. Like she has family in Oklahoma. She has family in Hawaii. She has family in Minnesota, although that's also ultra blue. Mm-hmm. But honestly, if I could just pick randomly out of the blue, maybe Utah. I really think Utah is super pretty.
Utah's great. I don't want to publicize it too much because we don't need any more people moving into the state. But I grew up here, and there's some downsides, but the upsides far outweigh. We got beautiful seasons, low taxes, but it's awful. Don't move to Utah. We'll take you. We'll take you, Travis. We need your people to move here. We just don't need as many blue Californians to move here. We
went out there to Cedar City. 2 years in a row to enjoy the snow and stuff. And I just really liked the area. I liked Zion being nearby. It's just a very pretty state. But also, I love deserts. I love deserts. My wife hates them, though.
We've got some of that. Don't move here, though, if you have opposing political views than me. If you're listening to this, just don't do it.
I like Utah.
Good.
It's great.
Was I
I'm leaving all these
Florida?
awkward pauses in here this week. They're great.
Utah is the possibly white of states. If there's any
possibly white.
Yeah, it's the possibly.
What is white?
Possibly white state.
Okay, I've already moved on. I forgot. I'm like, what?
Dan, we should end this because Robin's about to fall asleep.
Yeah.
My Kirkland sparkling water is just not doing it.
All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us for another week of Beyond Parody, and we will see you next week.
Adios.
Goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye, Travis. Goodbye, Robin. Goodbye, Mr. B.
Bye.
Goodbye, myself.